Welcome to Barkhausen Nature Bites. Today we're talking about this little critter, which is the deerfly. And you're going to see a lot of deerflies buzzing around my head and my arms right now. I'm definitely in the thick of them. And deerflies are a lot like horseflies, but they're going to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more coloration maybe as well. And they're going to bound more than gallop when they get around. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch. You know, deer bound, horse gallop, just go with it. So for deerflies, definitely going to be encountering more and more this summer. I got a lot of them on me, like I said, right now. And obviously they are insect, and for deerflies and horseflies, which are kind of very similar, deerflies being a little bit smaller, there's about 350 species of them just in North America. And here in Wisconsin, we got about 30 different species, so definitely quite a variety of them, and probably about 10 species around my head right now. So for deerflies, they like these areas where it's like wet woods, around wetland areas, so kind of where I'm at right now. You're not going to encounter them a lot in open, dry habitats, more near some wetland habitat. And they start off the life cycle as an egg. The eggs will be laid in vegetation right by a wetland or right like damp soil areas, like swampy areas. And this egg's going to be in the vegetation. And when they hatch, the larva, which is going to look a lot like a maggot, will just drop right to the ground, to the wet soil or into the wetland. And they're going to be eating like decaying vegetation, decaying or organic matter, and also little small organisms as well. And for the deerfly larva, they'll go through several stages, they'll get a little larger, and they might not turn to an adult that year. They might actually overwinter and the next spring turn into an adult deerfly. And at that time, when they're adult deerflies, they're only going to live about 30 to 60 days, and that's about it. So for deerflies, the males, they're going to eat nectar and pollen, but the females, they're going to feast on blood from animals, including us humans. And what they have is a really kind of a weird mouth part, almost like a pair of scissors, like a blade-like mouth part, and they use that to cut, scrape into the skin of their prey, basically, their animal that they're going to try to get blood from. And they're going to use another mouth part, it's almost like a sponge, to lap up that blood. So a real tasty treat, just to visualize that, have fun with that. So for the female deerflies, they're eating the blood, the males are eating more nectar and pollen. So really the peak time for deerflies is going to be like June and July. So right about now, you're going to see quite a bit of them flying around, definitely around your head. They tend to go more for the highest part of you, so your head and neck area. Not going to go so much for your ankles or your feet. And that's a little different than horseflies. Horseflies are kind of all over, but deerflies kind of swarm all over your head. So sometimes to put your head up high or hold your hat up high, they'll swarm that instead of your head. So how do you avoid deerflies from biting you? That's the big question. Well, really a big thing is wear a hat, long sleeve clothing's best. Definitely not what I'm wearing right now. Bug spray, it can work. It's not quite as effective against deerflies as it is against mosquitoes and other flying insects. You can try it. But they've actually found out that they can make deerfly traps. And this is kind of cool, where they know that the deerflies are attracted to color blue. So if they take like upside down pot or upside down cup and they'll wrap it in this blue sticky material, and they basically have that on like a riding mower, so it's a little higher than where the rider is sitting, well, the deerflies will go for that and get stuck, and it's a trap. I've actually seen them on the front of vehicles where they just drive them around and they get a whole bunch of deerflies that way. It's not a long-term solution, but it's an interesting way to try to trap some deerflies. So if you kind of take that with you when you go hiking out in the woods, well, get a solo cup, a blue solo cup, maybe that'd be a new song, a blue solo cup, put upside down on top of your head, on your hat, tape it on there, and you'll look stylish for sure, but maybe the deerflies will go for that rather than bite your skin. So that'd be a bonus. Maybe something to try. So deerflies, it's just part of summer, just like mosquitoes and other flying insects. The peak time again is June and July, so at least it's not the entire summer, so they should kind of drop off a little more in August. But they're going to be out there in the woods, so you're just going to encounter them. They really got some pretty colors to them, really got up close, they're really interesting stuff. But for deerflies, definitely a lot of them buzzing around me right now. If you're curious, as far as like a deerfly, if it's no longer biting you, if it's like retired, what do you call it? Well, it's deer flu. Thanks for watching Barkhausen Nature Bites.